go. We are live. We are live.
We back.
Welcome. We back. Another episode of it's our Thursday night pregame show. Yours truly, Darius Butler with the Man Pod. Got my co-host, Antoine Bethea.
Yes, sir.
And a very, very special guest, man. Played in the league actually 18 years. Don't let Wikipedia lie to you. Savvy vet. Started 10 of those years out in Seattle Seahawks legend. Our former teammate, Matt Hasselbeck. Thanks for joining us, man.
What's up, guys? It's been a long time. D-Butts, I feel like I've seen you. But AB, it's been a long time, man. Roommates, my first year.
Yeah, man.
We were down in the basement where all the vets.
For sure.
Training camp, yeah.
I
never made it. Never made it down there, man. I was always on the first floor.
Yeah, it was good times.
All the vets would be in the basement. Reggie Wayne, Adam Vinatieri, all the vets. Robert Mathis. But I'm not sure the basement was really the best place to be.
It saved the legs, man. Y'all didn't have to hit those stairs.
You had to go down and up those stairs every day.
Yeah.
True. How's everything been going on, man? I know you're busy right now, man. I know you're coaching. Got some things going on, man. How's everything going?
Going great. Pandemic 2020, a lot of people have a lot to complain about. And, there could be things we could focus on. My son had elbow surgery this year, fractured his elbow in a football game. My daughter just tore her ACL and had ACL surgery 7 days ago in a lacrosse tournament in Virginia. So, there are obviously some negatives and some adversity that we're pushing through, but focus. Positive, we're relatively healthy, and I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee. My son's playing high school football for an old teammate of mine, Trent Dilfer. He's obviously not playing right now; he's injured. But our team, we're in the semifinals, and I'll be making a 3.5-hour drive to Memphis tomorrow. To won it all last year, so it's fun to be around football. I know a lot of kids aren't able to play high school football right now, so I feel really fortunate to just be around a good program, to have that camaraderie. Team, and I think the kids are really getting a lot out of it, like skill-wise and all football-wise.
So having your son playing ball, obviously, like you say, he's injured, but being that you've been around this game your whole life, like how much do you get into, are you that parent on the sideline, or as far as coaching, like how do you really get involved? Like obviously having that, 18 years of experience on the pro level, like what do you bring to the sideline with your son and the rest of the team?
Yeah, well, I'm not coaching him. I'm letting that coaching.
Sure.
But it's a great question, and how I've handled it, even when I was his coach. But I just try to clap. Like that's my big thing.
Yeah.
Clap and cheerlead, because I know for me as a player, as a quarterback, when you get different people telling you different things, it just puts you in no man's land. Like I've even had it as a player where my head coach was saying one thing, coordinator was saying another thing, and then my quarterback coach was saying another thing. And it's like, man, like I'm not sure. One guy's like, cut it loose. The other guy's like, hey, just get us. Like, I don't know. So the parent, like this started when they were young, right? They're playing like soccer and stuff like that, or AAU basketball. Coach would be like, set it up. And then there's parents sitting next to you. They're like, go to the hoop. Like, shoot it. It's like,
you're already.
You're like, reminds me of that comedy skit where the guy said he named his dog. Come here, stay. Come here. It's brutal, man. So try not to do that.
Nah, that's good. Shit, because I got, eventually I'll be in that role, and I always tell myself, I'm not going to be that parent. But who knows, man? Sometimes
they're going to have to pull you off the field, man.
Oh, man.
Pull you off the numbers, man. So, Matt, man, let's get a little bit into your background and how you even found football. Did you play other sports growing up before you found football?
Hey, let me tell you a quick story about that real quick, because I just think it's good. I was at this celebrity flag football game with Michael Irving and I think Larry Fitzgerald was there like years ago, right?
Yeah.
And Michael Irvin was complaining, kind of like, he was like, son doesn't listen to like anything I say. I tell him, hey, outside foot back, get your hands up, as a wide receiver. His son, kind of like my son, when I tell him something about quarterbacking, he's like, okay, Dad, yeah, what do you know? Okay. But Larry Fitzgerald tells his Michael Irvin's son that same thing. And he's like, yes, sir, I got it. I'm going to everything you say. And Michael Irvin's like, Hold up. Larry Fitzgerald asks me to come spend time with him to help him get and you don't listen to me, but you listen to Larry. Like, so I always remembered that. And like, so I don't get offended that like I tell my son something about quarterbacking and he's like, yeah, whatever, Dad. And then Trent Dilfer says it and he's just like, oh yeah, absolutely. So it's just there is some value, and I feel really lucky to have guys that I know like Trent who are willing to coach and invest in the next generation of kids. It's good.
Yeah, that's fun.
Young too. It's a great coach to have at a young age.
Yeah. So what was your question, D-Bud?
Now I want to know. So like getting into football, like how old were you when you first got into football? Did you play other sports? Was it kind of like did you have to choose between whatever other sport and then football? How did you make that decision to stick with football?
Yeah. So it's funny. My dad played 9 years in the NFL as a tight end. He played for the New England Patriots, the LA Raiders. We actually won a Super Bowl in LA with the Raiders. Awesome. Super Bowl 18. Minnesota Vikings. We were terrible that year. And then Giants, we were really good. And so like I just thought it was totally normal. All my friends, like their dads played football too. Like it was Archie Manning was one of the quarterbacks on the Minnesota Vikings. Like when I was in 4th grade, it's like Cooper Manning and Archie Manning and Eli Manning on Saturdays. We play like flag football with like the punters and the kickers and the
wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, for real.
I had no idea that in 5th grade, like playing catch with Lawrence Taylor every day on a Saturday was like abnormal. You know what I mean? Like Phil Simms was the quarterback. Chris Sims and Matt Sims were in New York there. So I just thought I'd play football, right? But my didn't let us play football. He played tight end, so he's kind of down in the trenches, and he's like, man, forget this. Play golf, play basketball, play other sports. So really, I was not allowed to play football until my dad was done playing football. And the thing for my dad is that golf didn't choose me back. Basketball didn't choose me back. It was really football that was the sport. Football and maybe baseball were the sports that chose me back. And that's kind of how it started.
Okay. So in high school, you just stuck with football, or did you play any other sports?
No, so in high school, I played football, basketball, and baseball, right?
Okay. Tri-sport athlete.
Yep.
I think that was the thing. Like most football players I know, as quarterback, were multi-sport athletes. People are getting forced into like, hey, you need to specialize at a young age. Not if you want to play football in the NFL. I don't think. Right. The skills you learn sports are really good. But I actually was a tight end when I was in 8th grade. I was a tight end. I'd never played quarterback. So I'd go to high school, and I just wanted to be a tight end like my dad. And I go out for a route, quarterback overthrows me, whatever. I pick up the ball, and I throw it back. And I hear the coach say, real loud voice, he's like, hey, Hasselbeck, why don't you get in the line for quarterback? I want you to try out for quarterback instead. So I was like, oh, sweet. Like he saw my arm. He thinks I can throw. He wants me to play quarterback.
You already hit your growth spurt at this point?
I'm like super skinny, right? So the coach, what I hear him say to the other coach, real loud voice again. He goes, he doesn't know. He goes, that kid's too skinny. He'll never be able to block anybody. It wasn't quarterback. He just was like, you can't play tight end for
tight end.
So that's kind of how quarterback started for me.
Smart coach.
For sure. So even with your brother, playing the position, like was that something like growing up in the household, like, oh, I'm QB, I'm gonna play QB too. Like how was that relationship with you and your brother?
We played every we play every day. We played this game called quarterback, wide receiver, DB, because we always had like an odd number of people. It always felt like it was like 3 of us usually. Yeah. And if we ever had an evened up, we'd just play a game. But we play quarterback, wide receiver, DB, and you would have to sort of just rotate. Hey, Deion Sanders. Hey, I'm Joe Montana. Hey, I'm Lawrence Taylor. And we just would pick our favorite guy. And that was just the name of the game. We just grew up watching, NFL football every Sunday, maybe because I was just procrastinating and didn't want to do my homework that I had to do Monday. But that's what it's all about. It was about playing with all the kids in the neighborhood and, just doing that. But I think to answer your question, my dad was a tight end. So like when he was getting ready for training camp, it's not like now where everyone's got all these guys get together and they work out together and they got like the videographer and like it's like a big thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like players didn't make that much money. So they had a job in the off season and basically like you had to just work out in wherever you were living. And, for my dad, we had a jugs machine. So like my mom would shoot the jugs machine to my dad, but like the jugs machine could only do so much. So
Yeah.
me and my brothers, like we had just had like a laundry baskets of footballs and we just would throw them to my dad all the time. And then when I got like our job, one of the jobs we took, in the summer, we became ball boys for the New England Patriots. And we wouldn't work with the quarterbacks. We'd work with the wide receivers. We'd work with the tight running back or even the DBs. And you guys know, like, you just end up throwing a lot of balls.
Yeah.
The only ball boy probably in the history of the NFL that was going to get treatment and like ice in my head. But I was.
That's what's up, man. That's crazy. So you go to high school and obviously you stay home, stay near the home, with a Boston College. And then, so how did that go? How was that ride up in BC?
You know what? I never wanted to go to BC. It wasn't like a dream of mine. My dad played at Colorado. I wanted to be like Darian Hagan. That was my guy. I love Colorado, but they were running the option and they didn't really recruit me. So I had options to leave, but you know what happened? My dad's last team was the New York Giants, and the wide receivers when he left was Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin goes to Boston College. And he just was an amazing recruiter. He basically convinced me that, hey, if you want to play at the next level, if you want to play in the NFL, come play for me at BC and I'll run a pro style offense. Basically the New York Giants Super Bowl offense. They had just won the Super Bowl. We'll run offense and you'll get prepared to go to the NFL. And so, I said, hey, Coach, like that sounds great, but there's rumors that you're going to leave BC soon because you're having so much success and that you're going to be the head coach of the New York Giants, the next head coach. And he looked me in the eyes and he's like, listen, I promise you, I will not go to the New York Giants.
Did he leave?
No. Listen, like
okay.
Later, to Jacksonville. He went to
That's crazy.
Hey, recruits, if you're listening, be very specific when you ask. Sorry.
I guess he told the truth.
He told the truth, man.
He didn't lie.
That's crazy. We had Diggs on here last episode, and we had the same college coach. Randy Esso left my school in the dark of the night after a bowl game, went to Maryland, and he actually coached under Tom Coughlin in Jacksonville. So that's it. It's crazy how it all connects.
He was our DB's coach my freshman year at BC.
Who was that?
Yeah, he used to yell at me all the time on scout team for not throwing it to the circled guy on the card.
You said Edsel?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. It's a small ecosystem. But like Matt said, man, y'all listen very, very close to these coaches, man. They're gonna tell you anything to get you there anyway. But it got you to the league, help get you to the league at least. So you go to the league, you get drafted by the Packers.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid was your position coach, right?
That's right.
So you there with Andy Reid, there with Brett Favre. How was that, man? Big Red finally got his Super Bowl. Every guy that I know that played for Andy Reid, like just lights up, just loves him. Best friend played for him in Kansas City. Just love him, man. How was that, man? How did you feel about that?
Hey, listen, so here's what happened. So I broke my thumb my senior year. Ironically, we're playing the Cincinnati Bearcats, defensive coordinator, some young coach named Rex Ryan, okay? He's got a defense, and let me tell you, that defense had first-round pick over too, and they just brought the house. He started blitzing from the bus in the parking lot, and we were So I break my thumb in the game. I stay in the game. I get hurt more. I hurt my hip in the game. I leave the game in an ambulance. Okay.
Damn.
That's the kind of game it was. So anyway, I have an okay senior year, but not a great senior year. We're not in a bowl game. I get sort of invited to the combine. I get an itinerary. Okay. But then I don't get a plane ticket or anything. Turns out I get bumped from the combine because some juniors came out. So I don't even get invited I don't even go to the NFL combine.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I find out later it was Ryan Leaf that came out early. We shared a laugh about it, but that's kind of what happened. So I decide, okay, listen, my agent and I were like, we got to have I got to have my own pro day. So I have my own pro day and invite everybody to BC to come see me work out. One guy shows up to my pro.
Wow.
It was the quarterbacks coach for the Green Bay Packers, Andy Reid. And it was a blizzard. Like, I'm talking a blizzard. And we didn't have an indoor facility at BC at the time. So he gets there and he's like, all right, you want to go outside and throw? And I was like, yes, coach. And he was like, we're not going outside to throw. I just needed to know that you'd be willing to go outside and throw, because I coach in Green Bay and you might play in this kind of stuff. So we didn't even throw. So he came to my workout. We didn't throw one ball, didn't touch one ball. We just talked, got on the whiteboard and like the grease board, and just that was it.
That's dope.
Wow.
That's dope.
That's a crazy story.
So like you said, coming into the league, like you got, Andy Reid, you got Brett Favre. Like, what was it? Because I know when I came to the league, I had Bob Sanders, Mike Dawes, guys that I kind of looked up to, and just seeing them how to play the position. Like, obviously playing and being behind Favre, like, how was that? That time, like, what did you see? What did you learn? I know sometimes it's like shit you can't learn. Like, I'll be watching film on Ed Reed and it's like, okay, I can't do that. So, what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna worry about that. But with Brett Favre, like, what was it that you did learn?
Yeah, listen, you nailed it, right? So I go in. I was so fortunate to get drafted to such a good team. They're coming off a consecutive Super Bowl. Brett Favre, third MVP in a row. Head coach is Mike Holmgren. Quarterback coach is Andy Reid. The backup quarterbacks that season ended up being Doug Peterson and Rick Meyer, who was like the number 2 pick overall out of Notre Dame. I had like Sports Illustrated pictures, like covers on my bedroom wall of Rick Meyer. I'm like in the room with these guys. But no, Andy Reid did an awesome job that first meeting that I had. He was like, listen, there's so much you can learn here. One of the things I want you to learn about intangibles. And people talk about intangibles at the quarterback position. They talk about leadership. Brett Favre has it off the charts. Like, you can buy leadership books in every airport in America. I can promise you Brett Favre's never read one of those leadership books. The right leadership book about him.
Yeah.
Check that he interacts with the guys in the huddle. Understand how he knows every single person in this building's first name. Check out the way that he intimidates the opponent without even saying a word. Like, it's just like, it was like little things. I saw him in the weight room. I just was shocked how hard he worked. I was shocked how heavy he went on the squat rack. Like, it was just right. And here's the guy that just won his third MVP. So it was those things that certainly mattered. And to be honest with you, Antoine, like, I was just allowed to be in the room while they coached Brett Favre.
Right.
Me and Doug Peterson and Rick Meyer, we would just like sit there and just listen to them coach Brett. And then when the meeting was over, I'd like have some notes that I wanted to ask, and I'd go to Doug Peterson and I'd be like, hey, Doug, what does it mean when they say, for cloud? Like, I've never heard that.
Right.
What does it mean when they say blah, blah, blah? And half the time, like, Doug was like, oh, that just means nothing. Like, don't worry about it. I was like, oh, okay, good. But other times it was Doug, Doug would be like, yo, you need to know that. Okay. You need to like, bam, you need to.
Right.
And it was like, yes, sir. And, the other thing that happened in Green Bay that I believe firmly in this, if I'm ever running a team, this is what I would do. In that locker room, they were not set up as position. Like, how like sometimes like the DBs are here, the quarterbacks are here, the wide receivers are here, all by themselves. In that Green Bay locker room, I was in between Dorsey Levens. I was across from Leroy Butler. I was directly across from Reggie White. Like, I had interaction with guys that I never would have had interaction with as a rookie practice squad quarterback.
Yeah.
They taught me stuff. So, yeah, did I learn from Brett Favre? Sure, I did. But, like, I learned from a lot of guys on that team, and it was just a really good team.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. Yeah, they did. That was like that in Indy, too. My locker mates, I had Joe Haig for a long. I had Denzel Good, Matt Haig. I had all kind of locker mates, but that's definitely good if you interact with a bunch of different people, like you said, man. So you go to Seattle. Obviously, Seattle will be playing tonight. Got Russell Wilson playing there. But how was, you played 10 years there, had a lot of success there, obviously far away from your, I'm assuming where your family was on the East Coast. How was that out there in Seattle, man? And then finding now you you go from almost being a fly on the wall for most of the time in the meet room, and now you're the guy. How was that transition, the pressure, just everything?
Yeah, I wasn't ready for it.
Mm.
Shoot, like there's one thing to like be a quarterback in the NFL, then it's a whole other deal to like be the guy for a franchise.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Like I had seen Brett Favre play through injuries, so I was like, "Oh, cool! I know I got to play through injuries." What I didn't really respect enough, it wasn't that he was playing through injuries; he was playing at an incredibly high level through injuries, and like that was a lesson to learn. I needed to learn a lot of lessons, quite honestly. But I got out there. You know, Seattle at that time was a little like being in the witness protection program. You know, like Green Bay felt like the other game was a nationally televised.
Yeah.
That's fact.
Every game. And I got out there and it was like we had no Monday nights. We had no Sunday. It was just like it was actually we were building a new stadium. That first year we were in Husky Stadium where UW plays.
Mm-hmm.
Our games were getting blacked out locally. Like I didn't even know what a blackout was. Like
that's crazy.
Stadium, your local fans couldn't even watch you play on TV. So we had some work to do, and Mike Holmgren had some work to do in terms of regaining a kind of a home field advantage there. And I had some work to do because I wasn't really ready to be a franchise quarterback when I got there. And it was a bumpy road to start, but I do think that the bumps along the way, kind of the road that I took, definitely helped it mean more and helped. I think it really helped us have success, a couple of years in.
At what point did you tell yourself like, okay, I'm here and I'm ready to lead this team?
Well, what's ironic about it is that I went there, they traded, like it was a huge trade, right? They gave up, I think maybe it was like the 5th or 6th pick overall to Green Bay, and we got Steve Hutchinson. I forget the details of the trade, but basically Seattle got me and Steve Hutchinson, and Green Bay got a pass rusher that they thought might replace Reggie White. So there was a lot of hoopla and a lot of expectations when I got there. There was also around the league that were like, who's this guy?
Right.
Like balding quarterback. Hey, like my claim to fame was 2 big field goals in Green Bay because Brett Favre was never hurt. Like he was always playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Trent Dilfer had just won the Super Bowl in Baltimore. And it was that great defense, Ray Lewis and Trent, Trent gets doesn't get a lot of credit for his role on that team, but he played good football, winning football and smart football. But he was looking, when he left Baltimore, he was looking, okay, where's the weakest link that I could go take over the starting job? And what did he choose? He chose Seattle. He chose me. And basically, he comes in there and he's a nice guy, really nice guy, good teammate. But I didn't buy it, right? Like he came in, he's like, hey, I'm here to support you and help mentor you. I was like, BS you are, man. Like,
yeah, right. It's a quarterback position. You want to learn what's out there.
Yeah.
So we battled, right? And I didn't play great. I ended up getting hurt at the end of the year. Kind of got hurt the whole year, but I got hurt at the point where they didn't need me in there anymore. And Trent starts the last 4 games, and we go 4-0. And they named him the starter the next year. And I was a cross between devastated, really angry. But I had a choice to make, right? And my choice was, all right, you know what? My teammates are checking out how I handle this, right? And for every guy in this locker room has been benched at some point. I'm going to handle this in a way that I would be proud of later. And so basically what happened was Trent became the starter. And in the game where Emmitt Smith breaks the rushing record, Trent Dilfer tears his Achilles. And I have to come back in and, basically lead us to victory. And we did. And we did because I was ready this time. I wasn't ready. I had in my head what it meant to be a franchise quarterback, and it was a little bit skewed. It was a little bit about car deals and commercials. And you have the offense, they're going to, want you to. It wasn't about that. About that at all. And what I learned when I got benched and I watched Trent play, it was about football. It was about listening. It was about taking constructive criticism from a coach who's F-bombing you to death, but you're hearing what he's really saying. It's about helping the offensive line be successful with your tempo and mixing up your cadence. It's about not only spending time with your wide receivers to get on the same page, but it's maybe even going to the secondary and talking to the veteran safeties. Hey, what do you notice in my game? I can remember when John Randall, one of our defensive linemen, one of our leaders on our team, and
That's
say,
amazing.
"Hey, it's the thing that I'm doing that you think I can improve at." And he gave me a little, and it's like, so I was ready the second time around, but unfortunately for me, it took me basically losing my job and having to kind of go through a tough time, and then just, sort of luckily getting an opportunity again when Trent went out, and I was ready the second time around, and we played really, really well on offense, but I was not ready the first time.
That's good, man. We're gonna keep it. We only got 5 more minutes, man. We know you got to go to practice, man. But I gotta ask you. All these people keep hitting us up. We need to know the story about the coin toss. That was one of my actually favorite moments. I know you probably hate it, but it's one of my favorite moments. Al Harris, one of my heroes growing up, Pompano Beach kid. So tell us about the story. The background went into that story.
30 minutes. This story, but like, listen. Shout out to Al Harris, who's I think coaching DBs at the Dallas Cowboys right now. Smart player. I call him the best educated guesser I know. Okay, and that's sometimes what you got to do as a DB. Like you got to have the confidence to kind of pull the trigger, make the play, and be the hero or be the GOAT. And so he did that. And another shout out to Ed Donatel, who's coaching in Denver right now.
My guy.
Dick, you know Ed.
Yeah.
Ed was the defensive coordinator in that game. And we're in a 4-wide set, 3rd and 7 or something like that. And they bring all out cover 0 blitz. And my audible, blah, 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 200 Jet Thunder, the number 1, like 1 on the route tree's a hitch. I didn't know everybody knew that, but I'm sure Al Harris knew that. So, but anyway, I do that, whatever. Green Bay calls a timeout. Okay, they call a timeout. I didn't know this till years later. I think I saw Ed Donatel like at the Pro Bowl, and he told me this over a couple Mai Tais. Okay, but basically he calls a timeout, and he and one of his assistant coaches call the DBs over, and they're like, "Yo, if they come out with the same play, we're gonna call the same defense. Don't be afraid to make a play," or something like that.
Yeah.
So sure enough, what happens? They come out with the same defense. I'm like, oh, I know the audible. We're going hitches. And, really there's a moment for every quarterback as you're about to throw an interception where you're like, I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
You like let it sail high or you do something. I did not have that feeling.
Yeah.
I wasn't focused on it. And so, pick 6 to the house. But I'll say this, like, obviously I regret the interception, but I don't at all regret like the coin toss, like talking smack at the coin toss.
Oh yeah, you got
to. You got to. Yeah.
You guys know me. Like I had just come from the Green Bay Packers, and sort of what happened that year. Packers had a great offense. They had a really good offense, but their defense was sort of struggling. That was the defense that the next week on 4th and 26, Freddie Mitchell gets them with the Eagles. Like they were just like in a funk defensively.
Yeah.
So we had played Green Bay earlier that year, and we went in like almost intimidated to play the mighty Green Bay Packers. Like, who were we? We were just some young Seattle team. And when we lost the game to them, and I played boring. And then we go in the second time, and it was like one of the lessons I had learned from Brett Favre my 3 years of watching him there. It's like, dude, cut it loose. Go have fun. The intangibles that people are talking about, that Andy Reid's talking about, it's like, go play like you played at recess. Go have fun, man. You're playing a kid's game. Go cut it loose. Whatever happens, happens. And that's kind of how we went into that game. And I played a heck of a lot better in that game. And we go out for the coin toss, and I'm talking smack to, Amon Green, to Ryan Longwell, one of my good buddies and my neighbor in Green Bay, actually. And, like, it's sort of funny, like, now, but I was that in the moment for sure.
Oh, yeah. For sure, man. All right, man. What you got tonight, man? Seattle, Arizona. We both picked Arizona. I started off in Seattle. I switched over. Who you got, man?
I usually roll with Seattle, right? I usually roll with Seattle just because of like my affection towards my friends there or whatever. But last week I knew that I should have picked the Rams. Like I knew it, right?
I picked opposite. I went with Seattle last week.
I did too. Oh no, did I?
I went
with the Rams. I went with the Rams. Yep.
Well, I went with Seattle also, but I knew I shouldn't have. Tonight's different for me, though, okay? And you know what it's like. I'll just say this about Thursday Night Football, okay? Like, Vance Joseph's one of the best defensive coordinators in terms of disguising for a quarterback. Like, if you were to they make a list of the people you do not want to go up against. Vance Joseph is on that list because of his disguising.
Mm-hmm.
This has been
you saw it pop up at the end of the last time these two teams played.
100%. But this is the benefit for playing on Thursday Night Football. And I, as a quarterback, always loved playing on Thursday Night Football. Defensive coordinators do not have time in a short week to invent and install new blitzes for his.
Right.
True.
So what happens is what you're going to see in a game is probably something you can go find on tape.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Time as a quarterback from the end of my game on Sunday to the start of my game on Thursday, maybe not to practice everything, but I got time to go see what you've put on tape.
Yeah.
Me, when you're playing a complicated defense as a quarterback, the best thing that could possibly happen is you get them on a Thursday night. So for that reason, even though Arizona's really hot, Seahawks are definitely struggling in the secondary. I think Seattle gets some run game help back. But more than anything, I think Russell Wilson had time to prepare for what Vance Joseph is going to bring.
That's a good take. That's
some good input too.
Hey,
some good detail.
Defensive linemen everywhere that want to hurt me now because they don't like Thursday Night Football. Their bodies haven't recovered.
Yeah.
I think that's 95% of the people on the field.
Yeah, but listen, quarterbacks, we don't mind a Thursday night because we know that third down is going to be simplified.
Simplified.
Money down. Money down. Hey, Matt, man, appreciate you, man. It's some gold,
yes, sir.
Man. We gotta have you on sometime down the line when you get a little free, man. But appreciate you. Good luck to your squad too, man.
You guys
For sure.
Doing a great job. And D-Butts, don't give away all now. Don't give away.
Hey, man, it's only going to be free for so much longer. It's going to be a prescription service pretty soon. Don't worry about it.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you.
See you.
Yeah, man.
Matt,
OG, man.
The OG Matt.
The triple OG.
For sure.
Let's see who in here, man. We got any questions, man? Matt had to run. He had practice. Kids had practice, so we didn't want to hold them too long.
So he picked Seattle for the night. I picked AZ. Obviously, again, you seen who I picked, so you switch your pick to Arizona as well.
Let me go ahead and post my pick real quick. But so I copied off you, or you copied off me?
You already know what it is. We ain't got to put it out there for the public to know.
Oh, okay. I just True, sure, man.
True CBD Farm. Yeah, you said it was. You said Seattle D was a little weak on Twitter, but yeah, man, they it's more than a little weak, man. They suspect right now.
Super.
But like I said on Twitter, man, this would be a good game for them to play big, divisional game. Thursday night game, so we'll see. But I definitely got AZ winning. I think Kyler Murray, D-Hop, they're going to do what they do. I think the defense will play well. Got to see what AZ defense is going to do against DK, though.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if
Pat P going to
follow him. Yeah, Pat P going to follow him because Ramsey did a good job. Ramsey, bigger body corner, obviously can move, athletic. Pat P, same thing. Bigger corner, can move. And his whole career. Yeah, his whole career. That's what he's done. He followed the number ones and got up in their face. He done did this with Megatron and AJ Green, anybody else you can think of. So that'd be great. I hope he follows.
I think that'll be a good matchup. Good matchup.
Matter of fact, did he follow him last game? I think because Lockett went off.
Yeah,
15 and 200 last time these teams met.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna do something different. I'm pretty sure Van Joseph, he was looking at this schedule even last week. They would probably put some stuff in so the defense could just be working on it. So, but Matt says he had a good take on that though. Which
he did. He definitely gave us some insight that I feel like we've thought about, but I know I've never really heard a quarterback speak on it as far as from that angle. So that was definitely some good insight about, how he views, and he's played a ton of them, how he views
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night games. So definitely don't have as much time to practice and put things in, and you know how coaches and players are. We don't
Yeah.
practice. We don't like to just get out there and
Yeah, you can throw that out. Throw that out.
work. That's a fact. That's a fact. So which wide receiver you think gonna go off tonight? You got D Hop, you got
All right.
Kurt, you got Fitz, and never count out Fitz. And then Seattle, you got obviously DK, Lockett. Who you think goes off? Who you think had the best game tonight? All those.
Best game tonight. I'm gonna go D Hop, man.
Go D Hop.
D Hop, the Seattle secondary is struggling. And I just, big time players show up in big time games. And I feel like Kyler Murray and D Hop, their on-field relationship, I think, is growing. I think they're both getting comfortable with one another. And I just think they're going, take sky's the limit for them, especially after that Hail Mary pass last week. You already know how confidence is.
They're gonna come in and try to ride that wave.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll say D Hop have a good game, and then for Seattle, man, DK.
They're gonna try to get DK involved early.
Yeah, for sure.
They're gonna try to get the ball to. I don't know how successful they're gonna be with it, but I know he was kind of frustrated. Like, that was the first time I kind of saw him frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Openly, where you can see him like, damn, like, because he wasn't getting that many targets, didn't have a lot of success. I think they're gonna try to get him involved early, but I think the Cardinals, man, I think they're gonna do everything they can do to limit him. So
but
I don't see him having a big one.
The big thing I feel is over AZ. They got to get pressure on Russell, though. You know what I'm saying? It can't be a situation where they let Russell just sit back there and do what he does. They got to get some pressure on him. Now, if it's from 4-man, if it is a 5-man, 6-man pressure, we don't know. We'll see, but definitely got to get some pressure on Russell.
Agreed. Because he's he's had 10 turnovers over the last 3 games, which is unlike him. I think he comes out, laser focused in his game, and like Matt said, man, they have. And if you watch the last game, they threw 3 picks. He threw 3 picks to the Cardinals, and one of them sealed the game with Isaiah Simmons, who's supposed to get some more burn tonight. And it was from that same look. And it was all kind of mugged up, and then everybody sprayed out and got some kind of confused Russ. More so, some pressure's not always people hitting them. Sometimes it's having them seeing some ghosts.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Vance Joseph does.
Yeah. Shit, how you like Thursday night games?
You know what? Honestly, man, it really would depend on how physical that game was before, the Sunday before. How many lumps you came out of that previous game with, because coming out of that game on Sunday, you really don't even start, your Toradol don't wear off really till Tuesday morning.
Right.
And then you kind of get to a point where you got to work yourself up to get ready for that next game. So it's really about that previous game. But going into Thursday, man, once it's game time, I was ready for it, because you're going to get that little mini bye week after it. Gonna have a weekend off, gonna have that little stretch of time. So I didn't mind Thursday nights, and they were prime time. So prime time games, you know what I mean? I was always ready for those. What about you?
Nah, I kind of feel the same way. Just depending on how that game was, that previous Sunday, how I'm feeling. And then from there, I'm thinking about the back end. Okay, well, we go out here, we do what we need to do. We're going to have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So I'll be able to rest the body up. And, so basically the same thing you just said.
Yeah. My first start, matter of fact, as your teammate, was a Thursday night game. And Pat asked me earlier about some quarterbacks or something.
Who we play?
Jacksonville. Thursday night. That's when we all went ball. Chuck had just went down.
I think I dropped a pick that game.
I did. I had 2 picks, 1 pick 6, forced fumble recovery, 1 defensive player of the week. My first game starting for the Coast, man. So I'm a big fan of Thursday night.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You got some good questions.
Yeah. What else we got?
Greatest hater. Man, why you gotta hate, though, bro? Do you think Russell Wilson will still be in the MVP convo if they lose tonight?
Ooh, no. I think he can still work his way back in it, but coming into the season, there was a lot of conversation about Russ, and I wasn't aware of this, and I don't think it's right, but Russ not even having an MVP vote up until this point in his career, which is wild. You know, he's won a Super Bowl. He's one of the, you know, you look at passer ratings over career, he's up there in probably the top 5, I think, all time. But if he has another week, you know, it's kind of the narrative. You know, these media push the narratives. The narrative right now is he's struggling, you know, turnovers, blah, blah, blah. So if he loses tonight, I honestly think we start hearing a lot more Kyler Murray in the MVP conversation. Okay. So it deservedly so, man. He's been playing lights out. Not only playing well, but even running, using his legs more this year. So I think if he loses tonight, I don't think this following week, I don't think he's in that MVP conversation. But that can always change. You get hot in the season. What you think?
I agree with you. Right now, you know, sure, it's a few people you can kind of put in that MVP race, but you know, like you said, if he loses tonight, man, it's gonna be tough. You still got, like you said, P. Mahomes. You still got Aaron Rodgers. You have, you know, obviously they win tonight, Kyler Murray. So, man, he's gonna fall back a little bit, but you know,
you think Josh Allen back in it? Back in the convo, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, is still in it.
Of course, they still in it. You know, you still got a lot of football left. You still got we got like 7 weeks left. So, you know, a lot can happen in those 7 weeks. So I definitely think those, like you said, Josh Allen and Tom Brady, I definitely think their names are still in the conversation. Kevin Brooks, it's a question. Do you guys?
Kevin Brooks. I got it.
3-man contain type of rush and dropping 8 is the best way to contain Kyler. No, I don't think so.
Hell no.
I don't think so.
Yeah, run around, find guys.
So the thing about that, where a 3-man contain type rush, you know, that's kind of I would say down, like in the red zone, tight red, you could do that. But a lot of times in the open field, it's tough just because I'm speaking from a DB perspective where you having a quarterback scrambling, running around back there, you know, the receivers start to run around. So we know we always saw when the quarterback starts to scramble, we're supposed to plaster. So that means you find the nearest receiver in your area and you hang on to them. But at times, you know, a lot of that could get lost. You know what I mean? And then you got players, the defensive players, their backs are turned to the quarterback, trying to basketball them. And you know, with a guy like Kyler, man, you don't want him running around in open space. So I always feel as though, you know, 4-man pressure, bring a 5th man, or have a spy. If you have somebody that's athletic enough, drop him down, who can spy on him if he does take off running. So. That's what I would do if I was a D coordinator. 3-man contain type rush. I would kind of stay out of that playing against Kyler.
Yeah, unless you're in that low red, like you said.
You having trouble with that camera again, huh?
Nah, we good.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which defense is worse? Ooh. That's a good question. John J. Jonathan. That's your real name, man. Ain't no way, John. Come on now. I have some creativity there. But John J. Jonathan, do you see Cliff Kingsbury as a candidate for the Coach of the Year? I mean,
yeah, a candidate.
He got to be a candidate. Yeah, he wouldn't be at the top of my list. I would say probably 3rd. I would have Mike Tomlin,
Brian Flores.
Yeah, I would have.
Flores
might be one actually making that. Mike Tomlin. I feel like Mike Tomlin should have won it last year.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin 9-0. So you right now.
Yeah, so I'll say Tomlin right now 9-0. Brian Flores, you know, not only winning and having his team, I think ahead of the rebuild schedule, but doing it while making that decision to throw the rookie quarterback in there. And he's 3-0 now as the quarterback. And then who you got next? You got Cliff there after that?
You got Kingsbury. Andy Reid. You know what I mean? You can put.
Hell no. I ain't put Andy Reid. I can't do that, man.
I mean,
he got too much fire over there.
But we always talk about, you know, you looking on paper. You can always have whatever you have on paper, but you got to go out there on that field and you got to produce. And then obviously coming back off of, you always hear about, how tough it is when you win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Hangover.
Super Bowl hangover. Them guys, they still out there playing. He got his team coming and they ready to play. Balls, they coming. They ready to play week in and week out. So
you won a Super Bowl. You won a Super Bowl, and I know you were young when you won it. But what is it about that Super Bowl hangover, man? What is it about that next year? Like, is that a real thing?
It's a real thing, So you gotta imagine, like, you win the Super Bowl February. So February, March, April, May, June. Like, wherever you go, we got the Super Bowl champs in the building, and you riding high. You know what I'm saying?
So y'all on tour.
You on tour. You on tour. So you got to just think about it when July come, August come. Obviously, you're gonna have your free agent. You're gonna lose some pieces. You're gonna add some pieces. But it's like, okay, we're gonna make this run again. It sounds good, but when you go in those 16 weeks, you get that opposing team's best shot. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you got to be on your A game. 16, 17 games out the year. Not saying that you shouldn't do that, previously, but it's just tough, man. So
big target on your back.
Target on your back, exactly. So what I'm saying is, for them to be able to come back after the Super Bowl and still continue to play at a high level like they're playing, man, you gotta that speaks volume.
All right. I respect it. I put Cliff over Andy Reid, though, just me personally, just because that division that's the best division of football right now. Mm-hmm. You got you made the move to get D-Hop in there, and usually, those moves don't always work out. So to get a talent like that, a personality like that to come in and just fit right in and do exactly what everybody expected him to do. And then they kind of exceeded expectations as far as especially that division. So especially if they win this game tonight, I'll put Cliff at number 3.
I can respect that.
Number 3. I like McDermott too. McDermott doing some things out there in Buffalo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can respect that.
Yep. What else we got? Said on paper, Dallas won the Super Bowl last 3 years.
Yeah. It's a jump for Jalen. What is her Seahawks playoff chance if they get swept by the Cardinals? What the NFC look like?
NFC. Matter of fact, I got to pull up the playoff.
So NFC right now. So NFC East, obviously, you got Philly winning that right now. NFC South is who is that? New Orleans winning that?
New Orleans, yep.
New Orleans is up. The NFC West. This game is going to speak volume. It's gonna be big. And then
so I have the playoff picture somewhere. Can't find it. But here we go. So right now on the NFC side, you got Green Bay number 1.
Right.
New Orleans 2, Arizona 3, Philly 4, Tampa Bay 5, the Rams 6, and the 7 seed is the Seattle Seahawks right now. So definitely hurting chances.
Yeah, it's a big game.
It's a big game.
Big game for them.
You got three teams in the same division, in the playoffs right now. So it's gonna be a fight, man. It's gonna be a dog fight on that side. I might as well say the AFC side right now. AFC right now, 1 through 7, I call it. You got the Steelers, 1, Chiefs 2, Bills 3, Colts 4, Raiders 5, Miami Dolphins 6, Baltimore Ravens 7. So right now the 1 seed is the bye week. So the Packers and the Steelers right now. A lot of football left to be played.
A lot of football. You're
gonna have more divisional games. Those are the biggest games, especially at this point in the season. So this is a huge game tonight, man. I'm excited. I haven't been this excited about a Thursday night game since last week with the AFC South and coaching in Texas. But it's been a good one, man.
Chelsea, do she need to be stressed out about the Vikings Cowboy game, as I am, or do I need to chill the fuck out?
I mean, your anxiety too. It depends on who she's a fan of. But I mean, I feel like both of those teams, your anxiety gonna be through the roof.
She's a Vikings fan.
Oh, she a Vikings.
So what I'm saying is, I mean, I actually like the Vikings and what they doing these past couple weeks. So I won't be stressed out, but I'll be worried where it could be like one of them trap games where, you know what I'm saying, you coming off some big wins, y'all playing really good ball.
They rolling right now.
Yeah, they playing some real good ball. So, you know, you coming in you playing the Cowboys, they some shit, but you can't fall asleep. Can't fall asleep.
Man, that run game, man. I tell you what, I don't play fantasy, but if I did and I had Dalvin Cook against that Cowboys front, because he almost got 100 against the. And if you watch the game, the Bears were, they were
playing good. Yeah.
You know, 9-6 went down late in the game, and that's when they kind of start creasing them a little more. But they've been feeding Cook all year, man. They beat some good teams, beat the Packers, they got some good wins under their belt. So going into this Cowboys game, man, I wouldn't necessarily call it a trap game just because the Vikings they kind of in they fighting for air right now. You know what I mean? They're not mathematically out of it by any stretch, but they need to win every game damn near from here on out. So I think they'll be locked in. You're gonna be up to play the Cowboys, regardless if they're good or bad, because one thing about playing the Cowboys, people are gonna be talking about the game.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be stressed. I'm a Vikings fan. I wouldn't be stressed. You got to feed the chef, man. Let him keep cooking back there.
Got to do that.
Got to.
What else is that?
So Coors Light it is. What's the other option? Coors Light or what? Oh man, the rare rifle is back. Sound me shit.
Man.
Let me see what else we got. We got about 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes, yeah.
Let me see. Rohan made the show. Rohan made the we clipped out his question last week or last episode. KMB 301. Shout out to Weez. His birthday just passed.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously a legend, future Hall of Famer. Both
For
of you.
Sure.
What was it like going against Reggie Wayne? Is he a top 5 route runner?
Yeah.
Please.
For sure, man. It's one thing about him, and we should talk about it. You know, we used to have our Thursday night dinners and other things like that. He used to make all his routes look the same.
It's the same thing I was gonna say.
You know, he used to make all his routes look the same. So if he was running a 9, which is a go route, he will make his 10-yard stop look just like that. You know what I'm saying? So and make his dig route look the same. So, you know, his stem and the way he would run his routes was like a masterpiece, man. And then as far as catching the ball anywhere around him, it's a catch. So definitely, man, one of the best I've seen. What you think?
That's a fact. Top 5 for sure, man. It's like you said, I was about to say the same thing. Make it all look the same. As a DB, that's tough because we watch a lot of film. We say, all right, if he stems this way, if he does this, he comes off the ball that way, it's going to be this route or that one. But for Reggie, instead of having it down to 2 or 3 routes, it was 6 or 7. So It was tough. And then obviously we saw the work that he put in behind the scenes, that everybody else don't see. Every day on the jug machines, training camp, practice, every day catching them low, catching them one hand, right hand, left hand. So you see that work and you saw it translate to the field. So definitely top 5. Should definitely be in that Hall of Fame ASAP, in my opinion. So to answer your question, absolutely.
Yeah, we gotta get Weez on here, man.
Facts. Got to. You got DB. Oh, that's a good question. Blake Bailey, what should the Bears do about their quarterback situation?
Pray.
They got Pray. Right now, as far as we know, they out there with Tyler Bray.
Hey.
I didn't even know he was in the league.
About to pray on that situation.
Man, yeah. I mean, that's it ain't. I mean, it ain't no better answer than that. I mean, they went from Mitch when they were undefeated, went to Nick Foles. Nick Foles, it just hasn't looked good, man. I don't know if it's the play calling, if it's the play. And they got weapons, in my opinion. I like Allen Robinson, played against him a lot, been in the division when he was with Jacksonville. Very good receiver. Got Miller, another very good receiver. They got some weapons out there, man.
I think it's a play calling, bro. Because I mean, you see both quarterbacks come in and struggle. Like, you know what I mean? So it's a common denominator somewhere. Like, you know, you both and then Nagy brought his guy in and he's struggling as well. So I think it could be a situation with just the play calling, being very vanilla. I'm watching the game last week and I'm like, I'm looking at the game, okay, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. You throwing screens on third and long, like it's just very vanilla. I don't know if they very basic, man. So it's ugly over there right now. If it wasn't for that defense, man, their season would have been long gone.
Long over. It's crazy that and I saw somebody go on TV today. I can't remember exactly who, but he said he feels better about the Jets' future than the Bears' future. I don't know if I would go that far.
Nah, not at all.
Just because how good that defense
the defense is, right?
Yeah, they were out of the gate. They were 5-1 or 4-0, something like that out the gate.
Yeah, out the gate.
And that offense been stank all year. So it ain't like they just kind of hit a road bump. So for them to even be in the position they're in, it's all hats off to that defense and you know, special teams too. You see Patterson run another one back to tie for the all-time kick return lead with 2 other guys. So pray. Like Antoine said, man, pray, because you ain't gonna just find quarterbacks out there sitting on the street that's ready to come in and play good football week 11. They get on the phone with Hasselbeck, see if he got something left, but it ain't looking good right now.
Yeah, it's ugly. And man, and it's funny because at the beginning of the year, man, I'm watching them play and they winning games, but every week I will pick against them because I'm like, yo, like. What I'm watching on film, like, is not good football, but they was finding ways to win it. But now it finally caught up to them.
Yeah. Oh, this goes to our next question. We've spoken about him a lot on the show. Obviously, from the same area, 7'5", Tyrod Taylor. What happens to Tyrod Taylor next year? Obviously, they poked him up this year. Got Herbert in there. He's been balling, so obviously he's the answer going forward. You think he ends up with the Bears or the Jags next year?
I don't know, man. I guess we gotta finish the season out, man. Just see where the Bears and the Jags where they finish up at. See what happens in the draft. So it's a lot that can happen between here and the draft, but I definitely think Tyrod can go to a lot of teams right now and play some winning football over some of these quarterbacks that are starting. But I just think it's kind of too early to tell right now.
Yeah, I mean the Bears, in my opinion, I think the Bears would be a good spot for them. I think the Jaguars will be picking high enough where they can draft their quarterback for the future.
Yep.
Like I said, with that Bears defense, they already won 5 games this year. I could probably see them ending the year 7-9 and picking, you know, somewhere in the probably 12 or something like that. But if you put Tyrod on that team, you add another weapon or two, man, you know, obviously line guys will get a little better too. But I can see Tyrod taking that team some places. So I would want to. That's a team that I would definitely want to see him in. I know coming into this year, I wanted the Bears to go out and get Cam. I felt like, you know, Cam could have done some things in that system with that defense. So that defense, when you watch the defense play, that's a championship level defense.
Top notch.
Like up front, pass rush, the second level with the backers. You know, you got Dennis Trevathan and Smith on that level. And then the secondary, you got Kyle Fuller, you got the rookie Jalen Johnson's coming in balling, you got Eddie Jackson and safety. Like you got Chuck Pagano calling the plays, who's been a great D coordinator in this league for a while. So they got the piece around them, but obviously the most important piece is the quarterback. And then like we spoke on the play calling. The play calling has been bad. Matt Nagy, he gave the play calling to somebody else, but didn't get any better. So got to fix the play calling. But I think Tyrod is definitely a starting quarterback in this league. And the Chicago Bears would be one of the teams that I would definitely like to see him on. That would be a good situation for him.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a good question. It's a good question for you, D-Buck. How do you think
Michael Hornets?
Michael Hornets. How do you think Jared Alexander compares to other top corners?
He right up in there. He right up in the mix. He's right up in the mix. I don't think that defense as a whole plays well week in and week out. So that's why you probably don't hear much about him. And obviously when you speak about Green Bay, you talk about the quarterback a lot. But Alexander's he's been up there for the last couple years. He matches guys well. He's pitched some shutouts to get some top-notch receivers. I love his game, man. I love his game. He should definitely be talked about more, in my opinion.
There you go.
Yup. Do. Hey, Herbert, man, that haircut.
Yeah, that was OD. It was OD.
Hey, Herbert looked terrible, man. He's like he's about to go to basic training.
It was OD.
Fresh out of high school. We got time for one more.
Who you think gonna win the NFC West?
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go whoever wins this game tonight. I picked Seattle before. I think that when we spoke about it on this show, I went Seattle. And that was probably 2-3 weeks ago when Russ was at the top of the MVP race. But their defense, man, is struggling. And now Dunbar's he got a knee that's messed up. On the other side, Griffin's still out with his hamstring. So whoever wins this game tonight, man, if the Cardinals come out and win this game, especially convincingly, I'm right with the Cardinals to win it. And if the Seahawks bounce back and Russell can find a way to win this game despite having that banged-up defense that he has, I'm going to ride with Russ. So whoever wins this game tonight, I ain't got a horse in this race.
Yeah, I feel you. Shit, I'm gonna go with Arizona. I think Arizona gonna win that thing. NFC West.
There it is. You said that with conviction.
Yeah. You know, when I make my decision, make my picks, man, I gotta stand.
Here you go.
All right, I'm a fall back.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate y'all, man. As always, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, man. But I appreciate y'all tuning in and rocking with us. And when we gonna be back, man? We back on Monday Overreaction Monday. Overreaction Monday, man. Y'all enjoy your weekend.
We out. Peace.